So today I'm going to be talking about how to deal with imposter syndrome and how to deal with your limiting beliefs. Now, obviously, when you're in form as a footballer, everything feels like it's going well. Every pass, every shot, every dribble, you're confident. You want to take on your man. Everything just feels sort of easy. But when you're going for a rough bit of form, you're going for a rough patch, maybe 5 bad games, 10 bad games, or a bad half season. Maybe your whole season just wasn't what you expected it to be. Maybe you just didn't play to your own standards. It's very easy to get caught up in your own mind and just get caught up in the belief that you're not a good player anymore. You lose your confidence. All the things that used to feel easy before just feel hard for some reason. Like you feel like for the simplest things, you just start overthinking. You start overthinking literally 10-yard passes, 5-yard passes. You literally start overthinking literally just the basics of football. Like let's say you're a fullback and your centre mid sort of pings you the ball. Normally when you're in form, you just take that down instinctively and you just go with it. But now all of a sudden, as that ball's traveling through the air, all of a sudden your mind's thinking, oh, I need to touch the ball, and your body sort of tenses up, your mind is just spinning, and maybe you miss the touch, you miscontrol the ball, you take a heavy touch, you lose the ball, and just sort of little things like this. And this can sort of cause you to just have limiting beliefs about yourself, sort of cause that imposter syndrome, especially when you start moving up the levels. Let's say you are at this level of football, and then maybe you go to an even higher level. Maybe you were playing semi-pro for like a sort of semi-pro team, A division team. Then you get moved to like let's say an academy. Let's say you're a young player, you've been moved to an academy. Maybe you find it difficult to adjust the first few weeks, and maybe you have that imposter syndrome. And what I mean by imposter syndrome is just basically you don't think you deserve to be here, even though you've proven that you're good enough. So for some reason in your mind, you still feel like you feel like you're a fraud. Basically, you feel like I don't really deserve to be here, blah blah. And it's just hard for you to gain that confidence and just sort of just relax on the pitch and just basically just be yourself on the pitch. You know what I mean. Like I said before, you're sort of overthinking every single action. You're not sort of getting into that flow state and just sort of just letting loose and just play and just literally just playing football, just having fun on the football pitch. You're tense, you're nervous before games. You can't really, like I said, overthinking everything. So I'm gonna teach you how to sort of prevent that overthinking and prevent that imposter syndrome, and literally how to just basically keep that confidence even through rough patches. How to prevent your mind from going to from having thoughts of like, oh, I'm not a good player, oh, I shouldn't be here, oh, I'm never gonna make it, and just prevent your mind from having thoughts like that. And the first tactic, in my opinion, what I do is literally you just have to go back to the evidence. You just have to go back to evidence that shows who you truly are and how you actually are a good player. So this could be through videos. Maybe you've recorded your games. I know for me personally, my games started getting recorded. Not all of them, but some of my games started getting recorded probably around when I was under 15s. So under 15, 16, 17s, all the way up to under 18s. Some of my games got recorded. So I got a few good highlights in there. The coach sends you the whole game. You go through the whole game. But realistically, let's be honest, everyone just goes and tries to look for their highlights. Nobody's watching the full game. You just try to look for your highlights, then you clip those, save it to your camera roll. And basically that's just what I did. So in my phone, I just have a bunch of my good highlights. And anytime I'm in a rough patch, I can sort of just go back to those highlights and be like, all right, cool. Like, and sort of just get belief from there, because the evidence is there that I am actually a good player. Like, these last 5 games, 10 games, the last half season where I've been bad, this isn't a reflection of who I actually am. This is just a rough bit of form. It's just an anomaly, basically. So you can go back on your phone and literally just check, and literally just go back, watch your highlights. To be you may not have your games recorded, but I know majority of people these days, the majority of teams, they have their games recorded, whether that be under 14s, under 15s, under 16s. A lot of teams, a lot of teams these days, they record their games. So you can just take your highlights, put them in your camera roll, and anytime you're going for a rough patch, you can just sort of remind yourself that I am a good player. Like, I'm capable of producing great things on the football pitch. And even though I had a bad few games, it's not a reflection of who I am. So that's the first point. And then second point is kind of the same. It's the same. Um, it's sort of the same point of, you know, gaining the evidence. You can just look in your house. Maybe you've got trophies throughout the years. Maybe you were, you know, top goal scorer for your team. Maybe you were, you know, you got player of the year voted by your teammates. Just little things like that. I have a few trophies in my thing as well. Like I said again, just it's that evidence. Just reminding yourself that, yo, I'm a good player. Like I've proven it over, you know, over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, 10 years, proven it to myself. I've 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 proven it to myself. I've proven it to other people. And like I said, just this bad bit of form or this rough patch that I'm going through, it's not a reflection of who I am. I've done great things in the past, and I'll do great things again. That's sort of the mindset that it gives you. So that's my first point. Literally, just look for evidence. Just look for evidence. Look for the good things that you've done over the last year, 2 years, 5 years, however long it's been basically. And I think it's a good thing to, you know, try record your games. You know what I'm saying. I think recording games is a massive factor as a footballer, because I know not everyone has a camera, but it's very beneficial because obviously you can go through your mistakes, trying to see what you did wrong. But as well as that, you can also go through your good bits, what you're doing well on the pitch, and obviously rewatching those sort of things back, it just sort of gives you that confidence boost. I know it does for me. So that's the first point. Literally, just gain that evidence, and literally, yeah. So in my opinion, if you're not recording your games, you should start recording your games from now, because, like I said, you're gonna have good moments, you're gonna have bad moments, you're gonna have games where your team wins, your team loses, and just being able to watch it back, being able to record it, and just sort of watch the games back, I feel like it will just help you a lot. You can gain confidence from it, or you can learn from your mistakes either way. So that's the first point. And then the next point, like I said, is very cliche, but however, it just works, and it's literally just putting in the work in training. Now, what I mean by this is that you could literally go out there and literally drop an absolute stinker of a performance. You might drop, let's say you're playing on the Sunday. On Sunday you might have an absolute stinker of a game. You might have put in a 2 out of 10 performance. You just didn't play well at all, and you know you're going home. You're upset. You're angry. You're frustrated at your performance, and maybe it's been like that for the last few weeks. And you're thinking, damn, like you're starting to lose confidence. You're starting to, you know, doubt yourself, doubt your ability, doubt the type of player you are. But in my opinion, if you literally go out that very next day, let's say you go out on the Monday and you literally just go back to the drawing board. Literally go, let's say, go to the park, go to the AstroTurf, whatever facilities you have to train, to work on your game. Literally just go out there and just start putting in the work. And I'm telling you, after that training session, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, all right, cool. So what's going on in the game? Like, let's say you have a good training session, you're gonna be like, all right, cool. So this is what I'm actually capable of. Like, why is it not translating in the game? And then obviously, in my opinion, by putting in the work, you can just literally just gain confidence from there. Because imagine you're a striker and you missed 3 big chances on the Sunday. Let's say you missed 3 big chances, but then instead of putting your head down, you know, lying in bed until the next, just staying at home until the next training session, not really, you know, putting in the work, becoming demotivated, you know, not doing everything in your power to, you know, maximize your potential, maximize your game. Instead of doing that, literally on the Monday, you're back at it. You're literally on the training pitch. You're thinking to yourself, all right, cool. I don't know what happened yesterday, but I missed 3 big chances. Let's work on my shooting. And imagine you go into that training session and everything is just cash money. You're just bang, 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 left foot, right foot, edge of the box, middle of the goal. You might have someone crossing, putting crosses into you. You're headering the ball. You're connecting sweetly with your volleys. Let's say you literally have that sort of training session. You can. That's such an easy way to, you know, gain that confidence and sort of, you know, push the self-doubt away, because obviously you're seeing it live in the flesh that, okay, you know what you're capable of. You know that, all right, cool. So I'm capable of, you know, scoring any type of goal. I'm capable, 1 touch, 2 touch, it doesn't matter. So then you can say to yourself, yo, it was probably just an off day. And if it was more than 1 game, it was probably just, okay, I had 5 bad games, I had 7 bad games, I had 10 bad games. It's not really a reflection. Like I said before, it's not really a reflection of who you are. It's literally just that, yo, I'm capable of doing this. Like, I've proven to myself in training. I just need to go replicate it in the match. And then if you're still struggling from there, then you need to start looking to, you know, other factors. Is it the pressure? Is it your teammates? Is it Is it that you're panicking in a match day, and different scenarios? And from there, you can just sort of just work out, in my opinion. As long as you know that it's not a skill issue, it's not an ability issue. And if it's not an ability issue, it's much, then you can quickly, you know, resolve the issue. You can quickly say, all right, cool. So it's a mental issue. Then I'm feeling the pressure. I'm feeling nervous before games, and then you just take action accordingly. Accordingly, instead of you believing, oh, I'm not good enough. It's an ability issue. Imagine you spend 2 years not believing in yourself, thinking that I'm not a good player, I'm not this, I'm not that, and then you go out onto the pitch and you're reluctant to show who you really are. When the whole time it was really just you having a mental block. It's really just you know, it was really just you not believing yourself, sort of having that imposter syndrome. When deep down, when you're at your best, when you're confident, when you're actually focused and ready to play, you're actually a very good player. You don't want that situation. You don't want to have those that 1 season or 2 years where you're just lacking confidence. And because like I said, football is just it's a very it's a young man's game. You have a very limited window, so you can't really afford to lose 1 year or lose 2 years due to not due to lacking confidence, due to having that imposter syndrome. If you miss a year due to injury, 2 years due to injury, fair enough. But you really don't want to, you don't want to, miss 1 or 2, have a bad 1 or 2 years because of something that was easily preventable. So yeah, that's all I got to say for this vid. I hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.